4. Allow incoming people at a rate the setup can handle. 5. Keep them properly quarantined for a week longer than the experts recommend, just to be cautious. 6. Monitor them a further fortnight in the community, including teaching them to restrict their contacts for the time and monitor their contacts. 7. Lock down any case in any locality once surfaced and adjust the process that caused the failure. This brings with it a relatively small expense. We have disused mining camps that are a way to minimise setup costs, but in the main, the expense is hardly more than the use of any inner city hotels, and much less than the monetary losses of losing to COVID. Queensland showed numerous times how we could rid ourselves of small pockets of COVID, but the main thing is nobody dies unless they caught it overseas. Now, for what has happened. Number 1, we were so lax we let COVID straight in. 2, our quarantine arrangements didn't work. 3, as at 24th of December 2022, 3,148 people have died, and that will escalate. 4, 2.23 million have caught it, 1 in 10, and that will escalate. 5, many businesses have shut down. 6, crops left to rot. 7, shortages of basic needs in the shops. 8, prices increased considerably, particularly cars. 9, hospitals at breaking point. 10, borders closed and families separated for months. 11, massive increases in government handouts. 12, massive rorting of those handouts. 13, mask wearing. 14, check-in apps everywhere you go. 15, restrictions to weddings, funerals and many other events. 16, vaccinations needed, lots of them, and no end in sight. 17, people sick and dead from the vaccines. 18, government expenses for vaccines and tests. 19, test shortages and some people having to buy them. 20, politicians bragging about how well they have done. The situation is a basket case, and the newest advice is to let it happen, but keep suffering the pains and the inconveniences with no end in sight, and thank our government for looking after us. Well, I don't see the situation is sustainable. The Titanic is sinking, and we are shuffling the deck chairs. Letting it happen is probably as bad a solution as letting in the virus in the first instance, and there is no guarantee it's solving anything. But what does it take to turn things around? I have thought about it and have a possible solution. Get rid of the virus and revert to not letting it in from overseas, done properly this time. Getting rid of it is no mean feat, but it goes back to that simple principle that it can't spread if we wear masks and keep 1.5 metres away from others. It just has to be done nationwide at the same time, and extra effort has to be made by everyone to ensure it works. It is similar to lice spreading in schools. Mothers treat their children at different times, so the lice are never defeated, as they hop from child to child who is only days past being treated. If all mothers treated their children properly and thoroughly at the same time, head lice would be eradicated. It's simple, but never done. To do it as a nation, when it's more than just a scalp treatment, is much harder, and will take planning and commitment in the execution. But it's not impossible. We all get 4 weeks of annual leave or more for student holidays, or we are unemployed, retired or whatever. We can all take the same 4 weeks together, and 4 weeks is enough to wipe out the virus. The start point is to nominate the exact date we start a thorough effort to isolate.